Our job on John Ratzenberger's Made in America is to visit factories and report how things are made. Well, today we're going to peek inside a different kind of factory, sometimes called the Dream Factory, a.k.a. Hollywood. People who visit film sets for the first time are always surprised to see that turning dreams into images requires so many different kinds of incredible equipment, including something called a Peewee dolly.
And cut! That was good, John.
Thank you, Tommy.
Move on. We're gonna...
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So what exactly is a Peewee dolly? Or, for that matter, a camera crane? Well, they're essentially moving platforms on which film and television cameras are mounted so that they can go wherever the actors and action are. In the air, on land, and sea. That's the magic of the Hollywood Dream Factory. As it happens, some of Hollywood's most adept behind-the-scenes magicians are members of the Chapman family, whose dream-making factory has been in North Hollywood, California since 1946. The company was founded back when by Ralph Chapman, who rented out camera support equipment to film crews. In 1965, his son Leonard graduated from college and founded a separate company called, what else? Leonard Studio Equipment. The two companies worked side by side, becoming Chapman Leonard, and soon began winning scientific and engineering awards from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the Oscar people.
Leonard Chapman, John Ratzenberger.
Nice to meet you, John.
Your company is called Chapman Leonard.
Correct.
First question, was your corporate attorney dyslexic? It's Leonard Chapman, but the company is Chapman Leonard.
Right. Well, Chapman was the originator, and I had my own company, and we joined together, so we just kept the chronology correct. If the mill put a stamp of approval on it, everybody started using it. So our cranes became very popular. I'd go in the studios with my dad, and I'd see, wait a minute, there's a dolly on every set, and a crane maybe one every 10. So I wanted to build dollies, but didn't really get going in dollies until 1958, in which I built the first dolly. It was a crab crane, so it still had a crane.
What cranes are to the air, dollies are to the ground. Of course, the ground offers a lot more resistance than the air, so a dolly's wheels have to be a lot more advanced than what the Sumerians came up with. Leonard's dolly advanced the state-of-the-art by including a crane arm for height, while at the same time maneuvering easily on sound stages. That eventually led to more models of compact dollies, whose names are right out of Hollywood itself.
This is our Hustler dolly, which became very popular.
So we used it on Cheers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Hustler dolly in '81 was followed by a Peewee dolly. The Peewee dolly became a big hit. I mean, it's international now.
Is that this guy over here?
That's this guy right over here, right.
The Hustler was the first dolly capable of rolling on or off a track. Plus, it had the agility of a running back. But it was the Peewee's super compact size, quick change camera mount, and incredible maneuverability that gave filmmakers options they never had.
Let me start. You engineered all this?
Well, I'm the principal engineer, and Jason was a very big help to me in the development of that transmission. He had young eyes that could see what this was hitting that, and that was hitting this, and together we worked it out.
Think of the Peewee dolly as the love child of a Ferrari and a Hummer. Wherever the driver wants to go, he can go. Whatever the filmmaker wants to see, he can get the camera to see.
So you can do a complete 360 in the space of the machine itself.
In order to do that, we go into the roundy round, and now in this mode, we can actually spin the dolly right over center.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The camera mounts to the dolly's arm on a universal head that allows effortless tilting and turning.
And the person who does that, what are they called?
A dolly grip.
The dolly grip. So when you see on the films, it says dolly grip, he's gripping the dolly.
When we come back to Chapman Leonard, the dolly meets the crane. The camera goes wherever they say it can. The factory employs 165 people, including most of the Chapmans. Jennifer Chapman is Leonard's youngest daughter.
I wish the audience could just totally understand the complexity that goes into making a product. Over 1,000 parts in the Peewee dolly.
And you get to make it for an industry that most people don't have any access to.
It's a specialty.
You guys are really the foundation of that industry.
Exactly.
Like the movie camera company Panavision, Chapman Leonard rents and leases its equipment for use on productions instead of selling it. So not only do the workers make the dollies and cranes, they maintain them too, which sometimes requires taking everything apart and putting it back together. No wonder there's an on-hand inventory of about 50,000 parts.
You don't have to rely on outside vendors either for a vital piece for your equipment, because you just make it yourself right here on the spot.
Exactly.
Everything is made from raw aluminum. It's cut and milled into parts we've all heard of, like sprockets, pistons, and valves. And then there are parts with names like arm drive sprocket and leveling base.
It's got to be more than one setup.
That's one setup.
So this is a solid piece? You put a chunk of metal in the machine, it comes out like this?
Yes.
So the integrity of this is
It's
enormous.
absolutely concentric.
That's also one setup, one piece of metal. That's why your dollies are so quiet then.
Exactly.
Each part is sent to the appropriate system specialist. For instance, Jason Sutton, a transmission specialist who takes 380 parts and turns them into a thing of beauty.
You have a differential located right here. This is what's actually changing the ratios that the wheels are turning. So in this mode, everything's turning 1-to-1. And as I shift into the round, you'll see this spread.
Yep.
And as that spreads, now you'll see the chains start to speed up and slow down as I'm turning at a consistent rate
right,
here.
because you got the piece on there, it's a little cattywampus.
Yeah.
It's
So
just a
that's
little offset.
That's how you get your wheels turning at the right ratio, so you get the perfect steering geometry.
Bob Stawinski assembles the dolly's control valve.
This is a control valve which controls the dolly's arm movement, which inevitably controls the camera. So it's real important when a grip would use a dolly, he needs to know how it moves, how fast it moves, he needs to control it and stop it at a certain point to make a shot. It works on hydraulics. This controls all the
So
hydraulics.
this is where the fluid comes through.
Exactly. One is a pressure side, and the other one it returns back to the tank. So you have in your dolly, you have an accumulator which controls, has all the pressure stored up. And
so that's
by
what moves the
turning,
arm up and
yes,
down.
besides the precision to meter and allow the controllability of the valve, you have to have quietness so it doesn't make any noise.
The completed systems are joined with a welded frame. On average, it takes one person 1 week to assemble each machine. Then seats are sewn and attached. And at last, the dolly faces inspection. Quality controller Frank Ruqueña ensures that the dolly does everything it's supposed to do.
The dolly grip basically knows that when it's doing this and then brings it back to the neutral position, the arm should stay.
It's staying right there.
No movement whatsoever.
And then because you got 125 pounds on
Exactly.
top of this.
Correct. And actually this dolly could handle easily 350 pounds.
Finally, the dolly is ready for its close-up, or pullback, depending.
Okay, quiet on the set. Action.